Stakeholder personas and stakeholder profiles are tools to help you engage with the people who have an interest in or will be impacted by your project. They organize and clarify information about these people or groups so that you can be more strategic with how you communicate with them. Using one or both of these tools can help your team efficiently and effectively tailor your messaging and approaches to match your audience and ultimately have more success with your UX projects. In this video, I'll explain what they are, how they're different, and how they can help you. Remember, a stakeholder is any person or group that has an invested interest in your project. They may play a role in your project's success, or they'll be impacted in some way by its outcome. Let's say you've already done the work of identifying who your stakeholders are and which groups of stakeholders are most critical to your project's success. From there, you've done some stakeholder interviews and you've pulled together all the insights you have about what those critical stakeholders need. Everything from how involved they expect to be, what their hopes and concerns are about the project, and what interpersonal dynamics might influence them positively or negatively. Stakeholder personas and stakeholder profiles are artifacts you can create to help you organize and make sense of all those insights, so you can put them to strategic use for the benefit of your project. First, let's look at the stakeholder persona. This is a fictional character that represents a typical member of your stakeholder group. Your stakeholder personas might represent different roles within the organization, like managers, senior leaders, or individual contributors. Or they might be grouped instead by motivations and mindsets, the visionaries, the change-averse, or the budget-focused. If you're familiar with user personas, you'll notice some important similarities, such as they're based on real data from research with our stakeholders. And like user personas, they include a name and a description of the person's primary characteristics. They also list their values and motivations, what's important to this group, and same for the barriers. What are their fears or their concerns about our project? These insights will help us know what we need to address or anticipate from this group. And lastly, we include tactics that help us communicate with them. Do they tend to prefer synchronous or asynchronous communication, regular updates, or only need to know and key milestones? By creating stakeholder personas, you can optimize your efforts to be more strategic about how you engage with stakeholders. These artifacts will also become a shared resource for new and existing team members, which will save your team time and create more alignment. And stakeholder personas are an effective way to distill large groups of stakeholders into a common, shared mental model that your team can leverage. Another useful artifact for stakeholder engagement is the stakeholder profile. This is a shareable artifact that combines everything your team knows about an individual stakeholder. Unlike a persona, this output contains knowledge about a specific, real stakeholder. You can use a template to fill in a profile card for these critical stakeholders. On that card, you'll want to include the following: summary of the stakeholder's position and interest in your team's work, their key expectations and concerns or priorities, their UX maturity level, to understand how informed and bought in they are to UX methods, their communication preferences, or how they like to be updated on progress. And lastly, the current and desired status of their feelings about the project. Are they already strong supporters or more cynical? Do they need to be active champions, or is neutral support enough? Effective stakeholder engagement is about understanding who you're working with and what their needs are in relation to your project requirements. The process of creating stakeholder personas or stakeholder profiles will allow you, alone or with your team, to assess where you should put your time and energy in terms of working with stakeholders. If you think about it, you probably already have a ton of knowledge about the stakeholders that impact your projects. These tools will help you build on that knowledge with more research and distill it into actionable artifacts that'll save you time and effort and ultimately help your projects succeed.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of our UX videos, take a look at these over here and consider subscribing to our channel. On our website, nngroup.com, you can access our free library of over 2,000 articles. You can also register for one of our UX courses that offer live, hands-on training.